Hey, welcome everybody. This is the Thursday night dose of Stunt Hangar, I guess. I really should put the camera over there, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go on with some of this molding stuff. I'm going to have to modify this buck, and I'll show you why. So we want to shut this one off. Transition that. There we go. We got 2 viewers. Anyway, here's what we're going to do. Everything's you got to think about everything. This is not, when you do this kind of thing, it just doesn't fall together. But it's always wise to plan ahead, because you can end up with some big time errors at the end that you can't recover from. Okay, so while this is similar, and I could have made this fuselage to the width of this, make sure that you can see what I'm doing here. It's not exactly correct. What happened there? Why do I only have one of these now? Oh, the other one's over there. So what I want to do is, this buck has to be to the inside of this fuselage. And how am I going to achieve that? Well, I'm going to tape it on there, trace it on the inside, finger out 1/8 of an inch, and then plane it down so that it's exact. So I'll get my masking tape if I can find it. There it is. I set this up, even though I'm running a muffler, I set this up so that I can do the operation. I showed in the last video making bulkheads for this. I only have 2 bulkheads in this. So we'll set this up pretty much even with that. Means I'm going to have to sand the crap out of this thing, it looks like. Might have to glue it, put a tack glue on it, get it to stay where I want it, because it seems to be moving back and forth. I'm going to do something I normally don't do, for the simple fact of weight. I'm only going to mold the bottom block on this one with a 3/32 sheet. I'm not going to double sheet it like I normally do with 16th. So let's see how this looks here. We're off by a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, so now just take your pen trace the inside of this. Now these have the longerons in it, so I have to adjust for the longerons, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm also going to mark where the bulkheads go and cut new slots so that we get perfectly fitting bulkheads in there. Okay. This should make quite the mess. Foam does not like to sand nicely. Now, most, like Bob Hunt and those guys, they make their bucks, the bases out of hardwood. I just use hard balsa. Then I glue foam to it. This particular one was Z-epoxied. I mean, so you see what we have here. We're off quite a bit. Anyway, this side is going to be okay, except for right here. We have to come off of this 1/8 of an inch. So I just do this by eye. We're not building watches here, so basically what I'm doing is taking a mold buck that I had already made and I'm modifying it for this fuselage. If I need one at a different time. You know, when I'm in St. Louis, I could whip up a new one real quick. But I'm not in St. Louis, so. But I will be here shortly. I get to go home at the end of the month here. Okay. Now, the most important part of this is you have to deduct your thickness of your sheeting for this. Could I mold wood on this without modifying it and get it on there glued? Yes, I could, by pulling and adjusting and all that, but I'd like it to fit perfect, so I'm going to take and plane this down. Let's see if we can find my plane now. Of course, that's going to be hard to find in this crap hole. I cannot believe I never can find anything here. The problem is no space, as everybody knows. My blue plane, where the heck did it go? Blue plane, I don't see it laying out anywhere. I'd also like to show something on Stunt Hangar. Al Raid used to ask me, how do I insert pictures into my post? I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. I'd like to get this planed out first before I do that. Come on. Well, maybe not. all this stuff ready before I start live streaming. Come on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Got it. So this first side is going to be easy. We'll just shave that right off. Next side is going to be a little more difficult. Somebody's smoking next door. Terrible. I used to smoke and now it smells like hell because I quit smoking and started vaping. Okay. Didn't shave much off, or shaved off pretty quick. Any questions? Aside for that I'm nuts. Okay, long block. Oh, we got to get some of this back here too. It would have probably worked, but it just wasn't perfect. And I'd really like this to be super nice. So it wasn't much. I, just cleaned it up there. And it should fit a lot better. Yeah, still gotta go. Let's see how it fits now. Much more better. A little high right there. Let me get that sanded off. Now I've opened up, it's kind of like road rash here. I've opened up the foam and I'll probably end up Z-poxing it back, but it's not a problem because it's not going to get soaking wet. It'll just be damp. Yeah, that's a lot better. I should have done that a while back. Okay, we're going to lay up the skins. Man, I keep looking at it and keep finding another spot. Okay, how we're going to do this is, I'm going to show you how to lay up this skin. I'm going to put it in the bathtub, and while we're waiting on the bathtub, this wood to soak, I'll show how to do the picture-in-picture and stunt hanger tutorial. It's real simple when I show you guys too. You go, well, why did I think of that? Okay. My fuselage, I call this the completed crutch. It's basically the whole fuselage. It weighs, if I find the scale, there it is. This whole thing weighs 5.5 ounces. So we're going to end up with about a 7-ounce fuselage complete. Because I think I can do the bottom skin and top block for 1.5 ounces, somewhere in there. That'd be 1 ounce on the top and 1/2 ounce on the bottom. So we got to find some 3/32 wood. This piece of wood weighs 16 grams, so it's a little bit more than 1/2 ounce. When you do this, you want to look down the grain. See how nice and straight the grain is? That way it's a little crooked on the end here, but we're not going to be into that, so we'll cut that off. But it's good A-grain wood, pretty flexible. I get back to St. Louis and get my steam box going, I'll be able to lay this stuff in a steam box and not worry about it. Let's see if we got a lighter piece. Oh, no wonder why this came out of the wood that I already separated for the kit. And let's look at these. Let's look at these pieces. Pretty nice piece of straight grain stuff. That's a possibility. Let's put this one back. I think I saved that for my sheeting. what I do when I build these airplanes is I pick out the wood I'm going to use and I set it in a separate box and cut my parts and kind of make my own kit, so I don't have to do a lot of hunting. And that's what I have here in this box here is a kit that I've made for myself. It's the parts. So we'll take the wood out of the rack. Let's see what we got here. My friend Craig says that my wood should be here tomorrow from down under, the Ecuador connection. So we'll see what happens. And if it's real nice, I'll get with Jim and we'll make a big order. It's 18, but the grain is, you know, sometimes it's better to give up a gram. If the grain is running crooked, let's say you have a piece of wood that's 16 grams or 15 grams, but the grain is crooked, I would rather put a 17 gram piece in with straight grain. So it's when you're selecting your wood, you kind of, oh, here we go. Here we go. This is the best piece right here. Straight grain, very flexible, but it's 2 grams more. It's 18 grams instead of 16. We're going to go with that one, I think. That's probably the nicest piece out of it. See, this is kind of a sea grain, very stiff. Here's another real nice straight grain clear. That's another possibility. Let's look at those two. And here's the third one, but these are 18s instead of 16s. Now this is a piece of B grain. I mean, it's good for structure. Real hard, got hard spots in it. The 19 gram, but this is a piece of 19, but it's got super nice. I think we might weigh those again, make sure the numbers are right. Another good piece of 19 that's real flexible. So it looks like I got 4 pieces to choose from, and we'll choose the best out of those 4 for the bottom skin. Here's some more to look at, I guess. Phone call, of course, while I'm on. Yeah. Hello.
Hello. How are you, young man?
I'm doing good, Jim.
All right. Are you doing your show tonight?
I'm online right at this second.
Okay, well, I just turned it on. All right, well, I'll let you go back and do your thing. Sometime in the process, would you tell me where you got that engine assembly and everything for your for your 75?
What type of engine assembly? What are you talking about?
The muffler assembly.
Oh, that came from Randy Smith.
Oh, it did come from Randy.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I think Casminato makes it, but it comes from Randy Smith. It's $90.
Okay, buddy. All right, well, go back and do your thing, and love your show. Great stuff tonight, and I'll talk at you later.
Hey, Jim, our wood,
Yes.
the sample wood should be here tomorrow.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'll give you a rundown. I'll shoot you some pictures and weights and stuff. Well, I'll call you tomorrow when I get it and examine it. We'll place an order if it's good stuff.
All right, buddy. I look forward to doing that. I'll get back and watch watch the show. I'm interested in this fuselage, bud.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Well, as you heard, that was Jim Lynch. Okay, let's get back to what I was doing. So as I stated, it's best to give up a gram and get a good piece of clear wood. Now these 18s are nice. It might be that one. So this one here, this piece of wood here has a few checks in it, but it's bendable. This piece of wood here, this has a hard spot in it. I could feel it with my finger. This has branch stains. I think these dark spots in the wood are where branches are coming off. So we're not going to use that one. I think, ooh, here's a 12. Oh, it's 12 because it's 16th. Yeah. It'd be great if it was 3/32, 12 gram, but another 18. And I think the 18 that I first chose up is going to be the one I'm going to use. So kind of flattering that a craftsman like Jim Lynch should be interested in what I'm doing. Got a real nice post on the in the community section from a guy just getting back into control line, saying that this show helps him out, so that's good. Okay. Dressmaker tape. I'm going to take some measurements. I'm going to write them down here so I don't have to keep doing this again. 4 inches at the very end, so this 4-inch piece is perfect. 4 inches. So this is pretty straight back there. The next bulkhead, three and 3/4. 3 3/4. The next bulkhead back is 3 1/4. 3 1/4. I won't have to measure them again right by doing this. And at the tail post, I think it's going to be around 2 inches. Nope, a little bigger. 2 1/2. 2 1/2 at the tail. 2 1/2. Alright, so wood not only has the grain, but it also has a direction that's the most bendable. So what I do is I feel which way is this going to bend the easiest before I get it wet. Like I said, when you soak it, you're loosening the ligna, which is the glue that holds the fibers together, and you want to kind of bend this stuff in the direction that nature would have bent it. So just feel it back and forth. Which way is it going to bend the easiest? going to bend this side easier. So we know this is 4 inches. We hope it's 4 inches. So we're going to put a line at 2 right in the center. A line at 2 right in the center. I really like my meter stick because it's stainless. It draws a real nice, sharp, crisp line. But I can't measure with it because I don't use the metric system. I suppose I could, but so we'll get a center line on this. And this is not a center line per se where to line it up on the buck. This is just a center line for measuring. So the plan of attack is I'm going to cut this piece of wood, soak it in the bathtub. While it's soaking, we're going to show you how to insert an image in your post. So let's make the marks where they need to be. I'm going to bend this probably 2 inches longer than it needs to be, so I need to pull that back an inch. I normally, when I'm making these things, usually use a solid block right at the tail. I fill that in, carve it out. For the simple fact, it's easier to carve than it is to mold. Not as light, but easier to carve than it is to mold, for me. So I'll make a mark across here. These are our stations that we measured. And this really doesn't matter because we're going to put this buck down flat, and then after it's dry and cut up the 3/8 of an inch that's on the base. That'll make sense when I do it. I'll show you how I make the tool to do that. So save that piece. It's a good light piece. Put TP on the back here, tail post. So we got 4, 4, 3 1/4. 3 3/4. So it's going to be 1 7/8 on each side. Three 3/4, 1 7/8. Make a dot there. And then it's 3 1/4, so that's going to be 1 1/2. This 3, this will be 3 1/8, or 1 5/8. Three 1/4. inch and a half, 3 5/8, and then 2 1/2 is going to be 1 1/4 on each side. Oh, we got to make 3 1/4. For you guys, for you young guys that are watching, you know, when I was in school, I didn't much care for math. Good idea is to pay attention to the math, if any young guys are watching me. I mean, this is pretty boring stuff. 2 1/2 is going to be 1 1/4. Another thing, when you're measuring this stuff, don't move the ruler, because what you get is stack tolerance, meaning that if I measure over to this side 1 7/8 and then I measure over to this side 1 7/8, it'll be close, but you get stack tolerance. So make the center line and measure up the center line, figure 50%, make your mark, and then make your mark on the other side without moving the ruler. Otherwise, like I say, you get stack tolerance. Okay. I do a thing point to point. I have a T-square that bolts to the shaft of the engine. I don't have it here. I have it in St. Louis. And you bolt to the shaft of the engine, you measure center line of the wing, center line of the at the leading edge, center line at the trailing edge, make a mark with a sharp pencil. And you do the same thing for the stabilizer. And that gets you 100% zero. These Robart incidence meters and all that other business, you guys are fooling yourself if you think that's a good way to do it. There's much more accurate ways to do it than with the Robart incidence meter. And this was taught to me by a guy who did surface plate and layout, so I want to make sure to show how to insert pictures, so I'm get this cut. This is just a rough cut so that we can get it on the mold buck without a problem, and then after it's molded, we'll trim it to the exact fit. Ever since I found molding, and the best molding video is by Bob Hunt. He's got two videos, straight form and compound. What we're doing here is straight form molding, basically. It's slightly compound, but there won't be any cuts in carbon in it. When I first tried molding, I had no idea how to do it. And part of being a good mechanic is knowing where to get the information. So, here we have our blank. I'll go start the bathtub filling. There was a lot of talk about using ammonia in hot water. Not good. It attacks the molecular structure of the wood and makes it brittle. So just use a steam box or hot water. I can remember as a kid we had a swimming pool in the backyard. My dad had some real nice decorative concrete done, and he had to form up that concrete. We had boards floating in the swimming pool for a week to get those boards soft enough to bend around the corner. I guess I go set this in to soak. Get a can of beans here, hold them down. Tomato basil. Need 2 cans of soup. All right. Let me see if I can show you how to insert a picture in a picture or into a post. Insert a new image. The reason why I'm doing this is I haven't been paying attention to the Stunt Hangar admin announcements, and there was a post from November 30th, 2014, and somebody, Tim Westcott, answered him August 24th, 19, and then on September 6th, 19, and I see that Steve Fitton is posting a picture on August 12th, but all he did was upload it. Well, I'm going to show you how to insert it into text. So the first thing I need to do is I need to add a window capture, video window capture, okay, and that's it, okay, and we're going to transition that, transition. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to do is you find the picture. Oh, what happened here? Oops. There we go. You find the picture that you're going to insert. Sorry about that. There it is. Okay. Doesn't matter where it is. If they allow leeching or whatever, you could find it on Google or YouTube. But click on that picture and get the web address of that picture. So you right click and it'll say copy image address. So right click on it and it'll say copy image address, and then left click. Then we're going to hit reply or whatever, and you write your text, whatever you want to say. I'm going to type in here, see YouTube video, see YouTube video for STRUCT to insert IMAGE. Okay, to insert image. We're going to center that up. So how do I center and make things bold? Well, the big B over here, that's HTML. It makes things bold. And then I want to center it. I use the centering bar, the centering icon. That puts center, center. That makes an HTML image, and you'll see what happens when I hit enter. So we're going to enter it, enter. I'm going to put a line break. That means that there's going to be a line underneath it. And how you do that is, let me see, there we go. The arrows, HR, horizon, and then I'm going to hit enter again. You don't have to do this. But now we want to insert an image. Well, if you look up here on these buttons, it says insert image. And it makes those boxed brackets, image, IMG, and then a box bracket. And you see that flashing cursor there, then you hit Control V, and that pastes the image of wherever that happens to be on the internet, and then hit post. So now we've inserted that image into the picture of the post itself. No, I mean, I know that most people on here are not real computer savvy or whatever, and trust me, I didn't know how to do all this stuff 20 years ago either. But after building this form and spending 40,000 hours on it, I learned the easiest way to do things. So let's go back to this. We want to, in video capture, shut that off and transition. There we go, transition. There we go. Okay, we're back. Hopefully that made some sense on how to insert a picture into a post, because it is fairly easy. Uh-oh, I lost my stream thing. Shoot. We gotta go to YouTube, but hopefully I catch it before it goes away. Come on, let's go. So slow. Creator Studio. I hope I can get it back. Videos. Live. Yeah, we're live. Uh-oh, doesn't look like we're on. Let's hit that. Create. Go live. Yeah, we're back. Okay. Alright. Sorry about that. I lost the I lost the way to go here. So as soon as this catches up, we'll go ahead and get that out of the tub, and we'll bend this up. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the video. Super chats help. If you're not a current member, please consider joining. That's the join button. Now I know that you're probably a subscriber, but join the Stunt Hangar family. It costs $4 a month. That helps me provide this content to you. Okay, we get this, got this cans out. It doesn't take much. You don't have to soak the hell out of it. I mean, but if you look at this, it's pretty mushy. You can feel it. That's where the soup can was sitting on top of it. Let's dry it off. We already did half the work because I chose the direction. If you see it, it softened up and it already started turning in the direction that it wanted to go, and that's from examining the wood before I put it into the water to find the direction that it's naturally going to go. So set that in the approximate center. Get our ace bandage. I think I'm going to tape it first so it doesn't move. Seeing that I don't have another set of hands, it will tape it as my other set of hands so I can do this quickly. So tonight, in an hour, I've reshaped the mold, the buck. I've cut out the skin blank, laid it out, cut it up. Remember, I'm only working an hour a day on these things anymore. And I will end up having an airplane faster than I can imagine. Bend. This is a tight bend back here. Bend it slowly. That way you won't crack it. But if you did what I showed you and found the direction that the wood naturally wants to go, it's not a big deal. So now it's just a matter of taking your ace bandage and wrapping it tightly. Now, compound molding such as my Thunderbolts was a little more difficult, where you had to relieve the wood where it buckles up. But it's not a big deal. You just cut the wood, split out, take a sliver out, CA it back together, and when you take it off the mold buck on the inside, you take 2/10 carbon veil where the split line is and reinforce it. You see how it's buckling up there? Because it's a compound mold, we could possibly need to relieve it, but I don't think so. Because this is a slow build, I'm going to have to bring out the Dr. Pepper airplane next week, start laying up the stencils, because I'm going back to St. Louis and I'll paint it while I'm in St. Louis. I should be able to do a complete paint job in a week if I have it all laid out and taped up here. And if you guys want, I'll show you how. You'll have to put it in the description or put it in the comment section whether you want to see how I get that paint layout, how I steal it off the web, import it, trace it in a DFX file, and cut it with my plotter. And I'll show how I do that, the same way I just showed how to insert an image. So our bottom is going to weigh a ½ ounce or very close thereof, and the top will be whatever I can whittle out of that block. I like using the blocks for the top block, that way, because each airplane is a one-off. I'm not, when I built the Thunderbolts, I built 5 of them, and they were all basically identical. If you're going to make mold, you better like what you're making a mold for. I can see I have to edit the title of this. I got a typo of VDOE. Alright, well there it is. There's the finished skin, molded. We'll let this dry for a day. Remember, guys, get a hold of Charles or send me a chat link if you'd like to be a host to help Charles out in the Monday or Friday, or heck, pick your own time, whatever's best for you to have a chat, whatever you think you could get some participation. We're not set to Monday and Friday. I'd like to have a show every day of the week, but how many guys are going to participate? So if you got friends that want to come on Wednesday and Tuesday and Thursday or whatever, let me know on Stunt Hangar, and I'll get you set up to get on the YouTube channel and host a show. You'll be a infamous TV star like Rusty was. So that's basically it for this evening. I appreciate you spending the hour with me. Goes pretty quick if you work an hour a day. We'll have an airplane, you know, relatively quickly, a couple of months. Because on the weekends I do work more than an hour a day because there's nothing for me to do. But the wing I'll finish up here. I mean, it's not together. I still, on the wing, I still need to I'm not going to take this off. The wing still needs the leading edge sheeting put on it, and I still need to cut out my landing gear ribs, but the outboard wing is completely finished. This is all done. Turned out perfectly straight. Let's see what it weighs. Two and a half ounces, so we'll have a 5-ounce wing when we're done. Well, be a little more than that because it gets the compression spar in here, and that's made of basswood, so it's heavier than balsa. So, but it turned out pretty nice. So this way I can mark this wing where I need to cut back for the wing box too. I'll mark that right now. Don't be afraid, you know, like I say, I always inset my fuel tank into the wing. A lot of people think that you can't do that. No, there's nothing there. There it is. This one here is not inset as far as I normally inset them, but it'll be fine. This is only inset an inch. Sometimes I inset them so far they're just about touching the bell crank. So that's all I got for this evening. I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, share the videos, and we'll see you this weekend. Because tomorrow night is the Friday night show. Stay tuned for Charles and his crew, and fair winds, tight lines. See ya.